Welcome home, racing fans. Well, it's that time of year again where I always do my Scoty Awards, as I call them, or Slot Car of the Year. But before we get to it, I just want to say I hope that all of you out there are healthy and happy and that you stay that way. To say that this year has been challenging is an understatement, but I'm going to use that word instead of a few choice others. Challenging has definitely been the word. We've experienced a lot of things we didn't think we'd see, and it's changed a lot of us. And my hat is off to those of you who have went the extra mile to help other people, to be there for them, and the service that you provide. I can't say enough about that. So again, hats off to you guys, and let's hope that in the coming months, in the next year, that we see a little bit of brightness, so to speak. So anyway, again, like I said, I hope you guys are all happy and healthy, and stay that way, okay? Now, let's get to the slot cars. One of the first ones I want to talk about is from Hrw Slot. If you're not familiar with this brand, you will be if you're going to stay in this hobby. I think that the innovation with their aluminum chassis, the quality running gear, and just almost second to none fit and finish on these bodies just makes it one of the best releases of the year. Again, it's and we're going to get to this in just a second, but it's very important for our clubs, our advanced enthusiasts who have racing clubs and stuff, to have good platforms to build a race series on, and Hrw Slot is fast becoming one of the top ones. So hats off to them on this release. I was just very happy to see it. And speaking of that, the competition brands, well, here's Thunderslot again, continuing with their series. Again, nothing's ever perfect. Some people critique everything, and that's fine. I just know that this car is fast and fun to drive, and it continues the series in Thunderslot style. And again, competition level, as I like to call it. Again, if you're new, you're going to know what Thunderslot is real soon. And so again, glad to see this come back to the clubs that are racing it, and the home racer too. Now, here we go. NSR Formula 86-89, kind of a generic shaped Formula One car. And I was wondering when I'd start seeing people talk about it, and now I am. And for good reason. Again, NSR, competition level brand. It's a great running car. It doesn't need a whole lot of work, and I understand why clubs are using it. And again, it's just one of those brands that just keep adding to their line, and hats off to them. This wasn't an easy decision for them to make. They've taken a lot of critique about this car, but not from me. It doesn't bother me within the least. I really like the car. Sideways. This car here has just been, just highly anticipated by so many out there. I mean, this Nissan, to a lot of people, is a very, very important release. Me personally, like I said in the original review, it really doesn't do much for me. I'm not a big Nissan fan, modern or classic, but as a slot car, this thing hauls the mail. I mean, it flat goes. And again, competition level brand, sideways, they really chose a great mold here. Very smart, very smart. Now, Carrera, they haven't had a whole lot to talk about this year as far as new molds. But this car, it gets it all day long. Not just because it says Team HRW and more cowbell on it. I mean, that might help a little bit. But no, the innovation, the interesting design. This is a good new tooling. I mean, it's just a cool Mustang and painted in historic colors. Like I said, I think this mold has a future, and who knows what they'll do in the future. Maybe we'll see some Chevrolets or some Mopars or something. Who knows? They might continue, with this kind of concept. So I have to give them thumbs up for that. At least they're releasing something a little bit different. But I have to give the award to Scalextric for the IROC Camaro. We don't have nearly enough American cars in this hobby. And just to see a new mold like this, especially an icon like this from the 80s, I have to give it to him. There's just nothing else that, to me, was that important, that big of a change. Now, did they do it 100% accurate with the names and, the licensing and stuff? No, they did not. But that hasn't stopped a bunch of people that I've seen from repainting them and making them look accurate, just the way they are. And clubs are already starting to run them. So, got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, that's just my overall pick. Now, there's another set of cars I want to talk about real quick that meant something to me, but not to a lot of people. But, the Tyrells here, these things were just so anticipated by many, and I was one of them. I just think this is one of the most unique Grand Prix cars that they could ever make in the Legend series. I got to have it, hand it to them. They just did a great job. The detail level and the way they run, even though they're a little bit overpowered, I just have to give a nod to the people, the team that worked on these cars. Well done. You just get a well done from me. Now, this is in the new mold department, and this is when we talk about brand new castings, brand new molds for the year. So this is my pick. But we're going to talk about some other releases that I think are just as important. These cars here from Carrera this year were very, very important to me. To see this series continued after so many years, it was just, I just was so happy to see these cars. A little bit different take on cars that have already been released years and years ago to brand new ones that we haven't seen. I was just very, very excited to see these cars continue. A lot of veterans out there still race these cars in a series. We've had plenty of repaints. I mean, we've had these cars for years, and to see 4 new ones is just, is just a welcome sight. And the Marty Robbins special up here is just, selfishly, I have to say, I'm just very, very excited to see that car. That's just my personal opinion. But it is important for the series to continue, and so they're older molds, but I'm glad to see them return, and I hope they keep going, because honestly, they haven't even done half of the series that they could do. And the other thing about it is, we know about licensing challenges, but it doesn't stop Carrera. They're still doing the actual accurate NASCAR liveries as close as they can get. So I'm very excited, to see those cars. Although it's, obviously not a slot car, but the introduction of the Polycar Track this year has been a big deal. And even though you see below it that I race on wood, it's important to have a good plastic track system, and one that's actually made some improvements over other sets. And I have to tell you, this little adjustable power supply that we featured in the original review is something this hobby, all sets need. They've always needed this in 1/32 scale, in our scale, and for Polycar to do it, well, hats off to them. You're not seeing a whole lot of simple innovation when it comes to the analog systems, your basic sets, and having the ability to turn the voltage down so the cars are easier to drive, and younger racers, beginner racers, have a little bit more fun without chasing the cars off the track all the time, especially on small entry-level sets, is just a smart thing. Other companies like Hrw Scoty, they really need to take notice, because when you take your cars that have 18,000 to 21,000 RPM motors in them and you pump full volts through them, well, then you want to know why parents complain to me and other people in the hobby about, the cars won't stay on the track. And yes, we always say the same thing. Well, if you teach your kids how to drive, teaching them how to drive, yes. But sometimes taking baby steps, if you will, and having that voltage turned down to help the learning curve, I think is just a great idea. So I have to give Polycar a big thumbs up for the release. You know, the track is a very durable track. You know, the harder plastic, like we said in the review, it does have a little abrasive surface. But other than that, this is the star right here. It's the innovation to do so. Plus the cars that we featured in the set, the Subarus, have a milder motor. You match that nice milder motor with this, and you've got a perfect combination of a fun slot car set. So, hats off to Polycar. Smart move. Well, you had to see this coming. This could be the greatest slot car ever. No, I mean, it is cool. And my hat is off to Jules at Pioneer and his whole team for doing this. This is just, I don't know, just like, see, every time I get around this car, it's almost like I'm speechless. I'm a loss for words on just how awesome this car is for our hobby and to me personally, just I can't say enough. Thank you guys, you know, for everything that you've done in doing this car. It's just you don't see this every day, and I'm gonna have to give special thanks to Jules, you know, for doing this, and to remind everyone that, you know, all the cars that we sold, all that went to the forum and to the website to help keep the lights on, so to speak. And that, again, just unheard of for a company to do that for an enthusiast site like ours. And I just can't say enough about it. And a personal thank you to Jules for engaging in the forums and on Facebook. You know, there's not a lot of heads of slot car companies out there that, you know, answer questions one-on-one like you do. You know, you take your fair share of grief. We all know that. But you keep coming back for more. We don't know why, but I guess you're a glutton for punishment, Jules. But you keep doing it, and I think that sets you apart from a lot of the other brands is your one-on-one communication with the enthusiasts. So cannot thank you enough for that and for this car. So it might be an old mold, but, it's definitely my top car of the year. And now I really have to thank the folks behind the scenes that helped make Old HRW a pretty cool place to hang out. One of the best slot car enthusiast sites that I know of. I might be biased, but I think we are, and that's because of all the people behind the scenes. Steve at Slot Car Corner, I'm just going to have to mention you right now. Without you, we wouldn't have this new forum built because your help has just been priceless. All the how-to videos, everything with launching this new website, this new forum, just absolutely amazing. I really appreciate your work. I can't say enough about it. Paul, again, I don't know what we'd do without you and your great tires. Your efforts are just amazing, and we really appreciate it. You know, Len and Robert at LEB, the gang at Skelectric, Mike and them at Cloverleaf Racing, who, you know, they help behind the scenes bring new motors, and Slot Car Corner with the quick slicks and Cloverleaf. Just can't say enough. You know, all these little parts and pieces and everything that we like to use, it's efforts by these individuals that make that happen, and it's priceless. And again, Jules, can't thank you enough for what you've done this past year. Just amazing. And Dave Kennedy, glad to see your site going. It's an amazing YouTube channel. You're doing a great job, and I, for one, personally appreciate you coming by here and sharing your new videos and everything with everyone, because we really enjoy them. And, you know, it is about the people, and that means you guys. I mean, a forum is only as good as its content, and you guys are the ones that really provide it. You're helping newcomers, you're helping each other, tuning, wiring, track design, you name it. I've seen you guys just help so many people this year, and you are the cream of the crop of this hobby, period. There's no one that's better than you guys, and I really appreciate it, because all these efforts, you know, are what keep this site going. The sponsorship that I get, I can't afford to buy all the cars. So it's great to have sponsorship, and that keeps, you know, our YouTube channel going with plenty of content, lots of feedback there that helps show our hobby off a little bit more. You can't forget the Facebook page, the Facebook group. A lot of help there, people helping each other out, you know, showing different things, their new cars, stuff like that. All this stuff is, all because of good people behind the scenes, and that is you. So again, thank you guys. You are the tops, like I said, the cream of the crop in this hobby. And let's just hope that we can get this year behind us and let's start another great one. Okay, so these were just my choices. It's very important to me to hear what you have to say. What were the cars, the releases that you picked this year that just blew your doors off? The ones that you know, just made your year. And it doesn't matter whether they're brand new molds or they're older molds or cars that are 10 years old. I don't care. Maybe you're just starting this hobby. You're just discovering the fun of it, and you're picking up some cars that just mattered to you. And I want to hear it. Everybody wants to hear it, because that's the point of what we're doing here a lot of times, is trying to share the fun of this hobby, on social media, on our website. So share it with us. I'd like to hear your feedback. It's just, it's absolutely priceless. And again, you guys, I hope you all have a great New Year and a Merry Christmas. We're going to get through this. I know we are. We're all going to bounce back and try to get things back to normal. But anyway, always look forward to hearing your comments online. We'll see you soon.